Welcome to this video. We're going to talk today about Grenada. If you've seen the video on diving there, that's one of the activities. We're going to talk about some of the other amazing activities. I have with me again Zachary Samuel. He is with Pure Grenada. And so, Zach, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. I'm from Grenada, but fortunate enough to have grown up all over the world. Moved back to Grenada about 12 years ago. Went for 3 months. Absolutely fell in love because I didn't know it that well, and I lived there for 11 years. And in that time, I managed a few hotels on the island. I did a lot of diving, a lot of hiking, a lot of sailing. So, I really maximized what the island could do. And now I've moved back to Philadelphia, and I thought that I could take all of my fantastic experience with the hotel sector and everything else that I've done in Grenada and really represent Grenada to the utmost. So here I am spreading the good word and letting all of you know why you should come and visit Pure Grenada.
Very nice. So we're going to start with, if I visit Grenada, I'm on a cruise ship. My wife has mobility challenges. So when we get to Grenada, what are some of the things that, it's our first time there. What are some of the things that we ought to put on our list of things that we can see and do while we're there?
Excellent. Well, as I showed in the video in our last chat, the tagline for Grenada is Pure Grenada, just for you. So what we really love doing is creating a bespoke experiences and packages for any guest who comes down. So ideally, what you would like to, what I would really want a guest who I would say is mobility challenged coming to Grenada is to look up what there is to do, and then you can contact the concierge for the cruise ship or of the hotel or whoever you're working with, and they would be able to reach out to us and we would make a bespoke package for you. So we have taxis that'll be able to take you around and do sightseeing tours that are also wheelchair accessible, can take you up to the Annandale Waterfalls, which is a beautiful waterfall that is also accessible. The taxi will take you very close to it, and then there's a ramp that'll take you down to the beautiful falls. You can go and chill out on the world famous Grand Anse Beach. There's the Calabash Hotel, which takes people in for days. So you can come in for not for a day pass, but you can come in for lunch and you can use their facilities there. There's lots of different things you can do. The sightseeing is out of this world. You can stop in and see the nutmeg factory. There's no shortage of beautiful, different, quirky things that you can see in one day. And the great thing about Grenada is it's a small island, so everything is close. So you can be on the beach from the time you arrive, and then you can be up in the rainforest, seeing the crater lake, the Grandetine crater lake for lunchtime. You can stop at Belmont Estate for lunch, and then you can come right back down and see the beautiful scenery of the south coast and all those beautiful peninsulas, and then you'll be back by the cruise ship for the time you leave. So there's lots of different stuff to do in that trip.
Okay, so let's say I was going to do a sightseeing tour in one of the accessible taxis. So you said, and in the other video we saw them, so they would work really well for somebody with a scooter, somebody in a power wheelchair, or somebody in a manual wheelchair. So it would work across the board for them. So if we outlined a tour, let's say you mentioned the Crater Lake, which sounded pretty good. You mentioned the falls. You mentioned the nutmeg factory. Didn't I see a thing about chocolate there too?
Yes. Well, the Belmont Estate is to die for. I mentioned that for lunch, but I didn't mention exactly what they do. There's nutmeg processing, there's a chocolate factory, and they do all the other spices as well. So they create a lot of fantastic, they create nutmeg medicated spray for aches and pains and joints. They create nutmeg jelly. They create another spray from the different parts of the nutmeg fruit, nutmeg ice cream, and then the chocolate factory, where you can actually see how the Grenadan chocolate is made. And what's great about it is that it's being created in a holistic, ethical way. There's no child labor involved in the chocolate, and you can go and see them make it from tree right to the bar. And it is, I call it guilt-free chocolate because it's a dark chocolate, so it's not full of sugar and all this stuff. It's actually quite good for you. It's got antioxidants. They create a paste of it that you can put on your face for facials, and it's really good for your skin. So it's my kind of chocolate. It's chocolate you can eat and not feel guilty about. And you can do all of this at the Belmont Estate.
So it sounds like that you could make, because I know in Grenada the stops are not very long. So it sounds like you could fill a day up pretty quickly with information.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Now, so if let's say I did the waterfalls and I did the Crater Lake and I did the Belmont Estates and I'm coming back. So now what do I want to put on my agenda?
Now, when you come back, what you want to do is you want to come down the east coast, the east and southern coast. And what's really beautiful about that is there's beautiful mountain scenery on one side of the car and then the coastal scenery on the other. And as you come down to the south coast, you're driving along the beautiful peninsulas of the south, and you can stop in and grab a bite or some coffee or tea in one of the beautiful resorts on the south. There's also there's the forts, the historical forts you can go and see. Now with the forts, for a wheelchair, you can't get right to the top of some of these forts because there are old historical Georgian forts. But they are still really impressive and really amazing to go up and see. You can get quite far into them without getting right to the top of them, and the views from up by where they are as well are phenomenal.
Oh, very
So
nice.
there's
That sounds like a lot
Fort
of fun.
Matthew and Fort Frederick. They're really interesting, yeah. And
Yeah.
then from there, it's a short trip down to the terminal, yeah, on your way back.
Okay. So that sounds like a really nice drive. And you said that was from along the north, along the east coast down to the south
Yes,
along the east
yes.
coast. Okay. And for making a trip like that and with stopping and taking some pictures or shooting some video, how long a drive is that?
Now, what we used to say to guests of the hotel who'd ask how long to do it in, you can do that in 4 hours if you're rushing it, if you're not staying long and kind of taking in everything. Ideally, I would say 5.5 hours to really take your time, take it all in. And some people have done it in 8 just because they don't want to leave at all the different places and they want to really take their time at Belmont Estate and see everything and how it's all done there.
Okay. All right. Very nice. So we'll have to work on getting me there somehow. Uh,
Absolutely.
okay. So now let me ask one other question. And I didn't think about this the other day. What about what is food in Grenada like? I know you
Well,
have a lot of spices, but
yes.
so what is it? What it would be a traditional meal, or that's something that a tourist might find in a restaurant that would be kind of unique to Grenada?
Unique to Grenada. Okay, well, one of my favorite dishes in the world is called callaloo soup. Callaloo is similar to the spinach plant. And the
Okay.
callaloo soup that we make in Grenada is they puree the leaf and then they add some nutmeg and some cinnamon. So it's got a little bit of sweetness to it, but it's mostly it's a savory dish. But the nutmeg and the cinnamon just add another texture to the flavor, and it is out of this world. We also do lambi fritters. Lambi is what you might call the conch,
Okay.
and so they bread it, and again add a little bit of nutmeg to add a nice spicy kick to it, and it is again lovely. Now Grenada, funnily enough that you ask, we were just mentioned by named by Condé Nast to be the culinary capital of the Caribbean, and we put a lot of the when I say the spices, I don't mean hot spices like chili and habanero peppers and things like that. No, we put cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and a lot of different those kind of spices in our food. So it's infused in almost everything, and really, really good. And the Grenadian signature dish. That you don't really find at the restaurants, but it is a national dish, and it's what a lot of people eat for special occasions. Is called an oil down. And how that is made is it's a lot of breadfruit, a lot of dumplings, a lot of yams and other ground provisions, and they layer it in a way because the breadfruit takes a really long time to cook. So they put breadfruit at the bottom, then they put the dumplings, then they put the yams, then they put meat on top, which takes the shortest time to cook, and then they infuse that with a saffron and coconut milk and other spice kind of liquid, and then they set it to cook. So by the time it's layered in a way so that by the time the breadfruit on the bottom is done, so is the meat on the top, and it's filling, it's hearty, and it's got a lot of flavor. And everywhere you go, everyone's is different. So every time you go, you're going to try a different oil down.
That sounds good. And I love food with flavor. So I
Oh
think I would
yes,
enjoy eating on the island. That sounds, Even the oil down sounds very interesting.
It is.
Um, so what kind of like fresh fruit do you have on the island? What is? I know you
Oh,
mentioned breadfruit.
I mean, there's the mangoes, the papayas, the breadfruit is great. The breadfruit is really good because it also has been found to have a lot of good cancer fighting properties. So I know that is really good. And then, I mean, just the freshness of the pineapple, the mangoes, the bananas, all of the typical tropical fruit you find. I remember when I went back to Grenada for the first time and I thought, wow, this is how it's supposed to taste. It's just the flavor just bursts. Oh,
Yeah.
because we're a volcanic island, everything shoots out of the ground with such flavor. And yeah.
Okay. See, you just keep making me hungry on top of that. Okay, so now let's plan a little bit longer trip. So let's say I
Yeah.
come to the island for a week, and so I'm staying in a resort and it's accessible, and obviously we can do the resort things. But outside of the resort, what are I mean, we've talked about the East Coast, and now make it very easy to make make it an all-day trip, pack a picnic lunch or eat
Yep.
somewhere and spend the day going down the East Coast. What other things? We got the forts, but what other things are there? Museums? What else is there that we might want to see and
There
visit?
is a museum of chocolate. It's much smaller and it's got you can really get immersed into the whole culture and the tradition of what we do with chocolate. One thing I would really also recommend is a day sail or a sunset sail. Grenada has a few boats that would be designed specifically in Grenada called the Carriacou sloops. And now sailing again is one of those things that where if you are in a wheelchair, it can be you wouldn't think it would be ideal for you. But I know that in some of the Carriacou sloops, they have the cockpit in the back would be great to sit down, relax, and you maybe even able to take the rudder and captain the boat for a little bit. And yeah, it's comfortable, lovely, have the breeze in your face, and then you can also while you're doing that, they can help you to get in the water and see the underwater sculpture park. Now, I personally have been there with somebody who was in a wheelchair who was able to hold on to a float board and put a snorkel on and still see all of the sculptures from the surface, which is fantastic. So you don't need to dive to see them. You can snorkel from the surface and see all of the sculptures.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. What
Yeah.
about obviously the resort's going to be on probably have a beach, but are there any beaches that are easily accessible to get down to the water? And do you know if by any chance if there are beach wheelchairs available on the island?
I know some of the resorts. The Calabash, I know, is one that does have beach wheelchairs.
Okay.
I'm not sure where else does. But I know for sure Calabash does. They have wheelchairs that will take you right into the water and out. So that's something that can be arranged.
Okay, well, very nice. Yeah, I tell you what, Zachary, I love what I've seen of your island. I love the way you describe it. I love your passion about the island. So, like I said, hang around afterwards. We'll talk about me coming to visit. But
Absolutely.
anyway, let's say goodbye to the audience. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, please do so. If you enjoy videos like this, hit the like button. That lets everybody know that there was some good content in it. And we'll see everybody in the next video.
Bye bye.